All right. Hello, hello, welcome, welcome. Today we are talking about Chainsaw Man chapter 132 that just came out a couple of seconds ago. Well, not seconds, it's been many seconds. It's been about 20 minutes since the chapter dropped. But yeah, let's talk about this. Smiley face. All right. So before I do that, I should kind of make like a couple bullet points just so I can keep track of what I want to talk about because we did jump between a couple different scenes this time, which doesn't happen a lot in Chainsaw Man, right? Because most of the time we stay on one scene and then we focus it from the beginning to the end. Whereas here we got a couple different characters in different locations. So, da, da, da. So we have Nayuta's school situation. And then we have Asa in the hospital. We have the shoot. What's the guy's name? I keep forgetting. It's the I think the student council president. I think it's Harumi, I want to say. I don't remember the name. Bad with names. There's this one time I was in college talking to my roommate, and then I lived with this guy for about 3 years at this point, and then I was gonna call him for something, and then I forgot his name, so I just said, "Hey," which is what you do when you forget someone's name. But anyways, his we have well, it's not really just his. It's the Chainsaw Man fan club because he's not really in charge of it from what it seems. Chain Man, Chainsaw Man. And then I think the least interesting out of them all is Denji and Yoshida, which we'll get to. Hmm. So me da, da, da. So we get a glimpse of Nayuta's school life this chapter. And right away she is attacked by a actually I'll save this screenshot for later. Let me grab the one where she gets ganked by a bunch of security guards. Or not security guards, like national. I don't know what they're called, like the special forces. So that's a we saw maybe 2 pages of her actually interacting with her classmates, which I'm actually kind of disappointed by because going into part two, Nayuta's school life is kind of what I really wanted to see. But she presumably gets attacked by, or not attacked, gets captured by the government devil hunters because that's kind of almost the same setup as when Kishibe's squad like raided Makima's house with a bunch of masked guys, special force guys with their rifles. So Nayuta's school life is over before it even started. But from what we've seen, from what little we've seen of her school life, it's actually I wouldn't say funny, but it's a bit interesting because the first instance of us seeing her interact with her fellow classmates, it's her asking them for food. So she's kind of bossing her classmates around already. And it's either her nature as the control devil, right? So it's either that she is just manipulating them to giving her food, or she's using her powers directly to giving her, or like for them to give her food. Another sad face. But on the other hand, I think her classmates, like, they responded pretty friendly to that. So I think from what I've seen, I think it's them humoring her, which is not as bleak as this child demon, mind controlling her classmates every day. Because her classmates are sitting with her, they're not like excluding her, right? She's not like Naruto on the swing in the flashback. So from what we've seen, Nayuta's adjusting pretty well to the school life, which I should make a bullet point. Oh my god, looks like a U. Adjusting well to school. But yeah, anyways, they hit her with the FBI open up. But another thing is that there are also a lot of kids missing from mostly from the events of the previous night where the falling devil and Denji like destroys the whole city block. Uh but it's also like a trend of like more and more people being killed on a daily basis and the reflection of the approaching apocalypse that's also going to be a talking point in the next Asa scene. So I'll save most of it for that. But how should I say this? Growing number of casualties. How do you spell casualties? Two devils. Buh. At the end of the page. Ah, damn it! I should have made my canvas bigger, or I could have fixed my ugly handwriting. But yeah, the last point is probably just that the devil hunters, the national devil hunters, have a hold of Nayuta. So I guess the government has always known about her whereabouts and what's going on with Denji. Non-government. Oh, damn it. Running out of space. Government knows about Denji. Ga. Nayuta. But yeah, I mean, but why wouldn't they, right? Because if Yoshida and his little organization knows, then presumably like all the government people would know too. Because at the end of Chainsaw Man Part 1, it's a bit. I had a bit of a confusion on where each party stands in terms of like their allegiance, right? Because Kishibe led his group of devil hunters to attack Makima, but like I don't know if it's approved by the higher ups for him to do that, or if the higher ups, like the government people, are supporting Makima in her endeavors to control the Chainsaw Man to do like whatever she was gonna do, right? Because if either way, like the government should have notice of Denji, and I think it's a bit weird that they just didn't do anything until now. That kind of leads me to think that Kishibe is more like still with the government and he still has the connections to like leave Denji alone. But I don't know until further confirmations. Let's see. This chapter left me so confused. I wonder why Kishibe didn't step in since he wanted Denji to take care of her. Honestly, I thought this chapter was mostly pretty straightforward. But about Kishibe, I think there's a chance that like he is with the guys that are FBI raiding her elementary. Cause it's this scene is really similar to like when he raided Makima's apartment, right? They have like squads and squads of like special forces just popping her. And then like so I think there's a chance we'll see him pretty soon if he is still with the government. Mm, but yeah, that's it for Nayuta's school life, it seems. Personally, I'm kind of disappointed because we got 3 pages of her, and 1.5 page of that is like her getting, guns pointed at her. So, but yeah, let's move on to Asa in the hospital. Ba-ba-ba. So I'm actually this might be my favorite part of the chapter. Oh my god, I opened so many layers. Oh, okay, let's move back up. So, also in hospital. Blah. So, I think this is actually the first time that we see how regular folks deal with the aftermath of like a devil attack, right? Because in the other cases, like in part one, we kind of just see the fight and then we move on to Denji. We don't really see like the consequences of their fight. And we see like a bunch of people injured. They're crowding the hospital. We see this grandma. She's sad about her grandkids dying, as you do. And we get a number of how many people died, which from the Falling Devil attack is said to be around 2,000. So that's 2/3 of a 9/11. So it's pretty bad, but it's kind of expected considering that the Falling Devil, she threw a whole skyscraper at them. So let's see. Uh, Results of Falling Devil. Ba-ba-ba. But yeah, so not too much story development here other than we kind of seeing Asa's reaction to the destruction because a lot of this is kind of caused by her, right? Like the devils were only there because they wanted her life. So her living is kind of what caused the 2000 something death. And we also see that the Falling Devil, just by appearing in Japan for a few minutes, like she causes gravitational pulls from other countries that like mess up their geography and causes issues there too. So it's kind of another reminder of how destructive these monsters are, like on a planetary level. see. Reminder of devils. How should I say? Devils, their, I guess, destruction, right? Because when the gun devil was first introduced, he was like, he killed like millions and millions in a matter of minutes. So considering that the primordial devils should be like on a higher plane than just a gun devil, their how do you say it? Their influence of like destruction should be, around the same level at the minimum. So that's a cool little world building. Da, da, da. And Asa is also a bit. I don't know how she feels, but she acknowledged that Chainsaw Man saved her again. So that's gonna be another bar in the way of her killing him. But at this point, it's not like she even wants to kill him, because another chapter, a couple chapters ago, Yoru was like, "Hey, kill him," and she's like, "No." So we're already past that point where like she already doesn't want to kill him. But yeah. Anyways, the TV then switches to this talk show where the club president is pitching the Chainsaw Man fan club to the world, and he gets laughed at. Which actually, I'm just gonna keep using the slide. I don't think that's big enough of the topic to just make a new one. So anyways, he gets like laughed at despite he's making sense. Like Chainsaw Man is he is doing a lot to prevent death from happening in the eyes of the people, at least. So it's kind of the older generation of people that are laughing at him, whereas we see some support from the younger guys. Um, well, is that true? Let me see. Ba-ba-ba. Well, I guess it's not completely true, because the other, when you see like the younger guys reacting to his speech, they're kind of sarcastic in a way. Ba-ba-ba. So I think it's kind of like reflecting that society as a whole doesn't really take the death seriously, even though more and more disasters are happening. But anyways, Isumi he's pretty mad about the getting mocked on national TV. But Bammy and someone else, presumably the fake Chainsaw Man, put him up to that. I'm actually not sure why they did that. I might have to like reread to see what's going on here. Ba-ba-ba. But anyways, they want him to be the cult leader of the club, or of the, not exactly a club anymore, of the cult leader of the cult. Leader of the cult. I didn't have to say cult twice. Be cult. Oh, I can't spell. And one part kind of confused me, because Fami said like they want to be ridiculed, and I can't see why they would ever want to do that. this doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. But she's also like refusing to explain it. So, maybe we'll get an explanation at some point. Question mark? Two question marks, because I'm confused. Off the top of my head, I think it's maybe that like she's because remember when Makima fought Pochita, she was able to like kind of get the upper hand because Pochita was gaining popularity so that his fear level like decreased by a lot. So I wonder if this is to do like the opposite, where nobody takes Chainsaw Man seriously, and then his power level will like spike. Hmm. But yeah, we'll see. Let me make a little bullet point just so I can remember. But yeah, let's see. Hmm. But anyways, next we got. Let me clear all these layers. Next we got Denji and Yoshida, who kidnaps him and tied him up in a chair in a room without anything in it. Denji, ooh, this he's looking. He got good defined biceps. His tummy looks a little flabby, but you know he's eating like unhealthy foods every day, so that's to be expected. He got the nice toned thighs, so pretty good, pretty good. I don't know how popular is the opinion that Denji is actually pretty hot, and if there's like, I definitely hold that opinion. I think Denji is like at least a top five, no, top three hottest guys in the whole series. Also, that's kind of because that like there's not a whole lot of sexy guys in this. There's not a whole lot of guys in general in the series, but Denji is hot, and I'll stand by that. But anyways, Denji is being tied up in a. I think it looks like an asylum room, but without like all the paddings. So if I have to guess, it's like an abandoned asylum, but it could be anything. And, and so because Denji and Asa were unconscious at the end of last chapter, we can assume that Yoshida took her to the hospital and then took Denji to this creepy room. Took actually I don't think that's important enough to even say. Make a bullet point of. Anyways, kidnaps kid snap, no kidnap, because you don't often kidnap many kids at the same time. All right. Da da da. All right, but anyways, he kidnaps Denji, and it's kind of weird because Yoshida said that he's working with some organization, but to this day, we have not seen a single other member of the said organization. Mm, organization question mark. So he ties him up, and then for protection, apparently, which is his goal in part two, because he did say that he doesn't want Denji to fight for whatever reason. And then Denji, he questions him about Nayuta and Asa. And oh, and the dogs. The most important part are the dogs. And, you know, Yoshida claims that he's protecting them. So that kind of right now that kind of suggests that he has something to do with the soldiers that raided Nayuta's school. So the organization, he could just be like a government agent at this point, which seems kind of likely, even though when he was introduced as like a private devil hunter. Bruh, bruh, bruh. So, right, he claims to be protecting all of them. Yeah, Denji. Okay. And then Denji makes the weirdest threat, and then of all time. He threatens to kill Yoshida before offering to lick his asshole for a week. It's a very confusing line of dialogue, and I love it. Where should I put this? And I have no idea what he's talking about, because you know what? The second part might also be a threat, right? Because not everyone would want Denji to finger their asshole with their tongue for like a week. So this is one of the best lines of dialogue I ever read, but also like leaves me very confused. So remember, if you're ever kidnapped, just tell your kidnappers that you will lick their asshole for a week, and they might set you free. Ba ba ba. That's about the end of the chapter. Let's see. Ba 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 ba. What else is there to talk about? Because this chapter is actually pretty straightforward for the most part. Um, let's see. Oh, right. I usually look at the title of the chapter to see if there's like any deeper meaning behind it. Mm, okay, so the title of the chapter is protection, because Yoshida said that he is protecting Denji. So it's pretty straightforward, as most of the title chapters, because sometimes you might get like a title chapter title that has like a movie reference, or like have a pun or a deeper meaning or whatever. But this one is just protection. Okay. But yeah, I can't wait for the Yoshida and Denji fan art that's gonna come of this. I'm excited for that. Oh, let me check if we have a chapter next week, because sometimes we don't. Next chapter, June 20th. Okay, that's pretty cool. We have a chapter next week. Neat. Yeah, I'm not really sure where we're going to go from here. But unfortunately Yoshida turned down his tonguing. So that's probably not going to get shown on screen. We'll have to leave it to the imagination of the fan arts. Fujimoto has no balls. He won't do it. I'm never been more disappointed. Let's see. But yeah, this is a relatively short chapter compared to the others. We have about 16 pages, I want to say, or 15. Let me count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Yeah. So this chapter was only 15 pages, whereas usually we get like 18 to 20. But this is more dialogue heavy than the usual chapter, so I'm not upset. Mm, yeah, I think that's about it for this week. I'm gonna hop off and I'll see you guys next week.